All right, you're looking at a daily chart of the Nasdaq. It was up 12 points today, or 007. It was a James Bond kind of day. It was very slow and dull, and the volume was light. There's a lot of caution ahead of the Federal Reserve when Jerome Powell is going to speak on Wednesday. I know that Apple and Microsoft and Meta and Amazon are reporting this week, but the big thing that the market's waiting on is Jerome Powell, and is he going to be dovish and talk about cutting interest rates? Wall Street wants their interest rates lower. And if Powell is dovish, I believe we see a rally after Wednesday. But before he speaks, I don't expect much. And stocks barely moved today. You can see the NASDAQ here, though, sliced its 50, and now that 50 is acting as resistance. It sliced it on this day here, July 24. And then the next day it rallied up to it, got rejected, closed in the middle of the range. The next day, which was Friday, had an inside day, and today it rallied up to it and got rejected once again and closed in the lower half of the session. So the NASDAQ is just, it's having a hard time. The big cap technology stocks have sold off, and there's been a rotation into other groups. But today was kind of like what I would call like a stanza day, where the opposites kind of worked, where everything that was sold off recently, there was some short covering and profit taking into this meeting with Powell, and then the stocks that had been working, there was profit taking, so they came back in a little bit. So just kind of flattening out ahead of the news from Jerome Powell, and market's just going to be in limbo here, and just be cautious ahead of this, interest rate decision, which we're going to hear from on Wednesday at 2 o'clock. And so we're just going to have to wait. This is when you got to be a little patient, or go out and, hike or fish or golf or ride a bike or swim or do whatever you want to do in the summer. But there's just not a lot going on. I'm going to go to the Russell, I guess. The Russell was down. I said the things that had been working, stopped today. They just took profits. It was down 1.09%, 24 points, closed at 22.35. But the thing about the Russell is that it's still 7% above its 50. So it needs to allow the 50 to catch up. It had gone sideways for a long time. So it's going to take a while for that 50 to start curling higher. But it's 1.1% above its 10 EMA and 3.3% above its 21. I don't know if this is going to continue to get support here at the 10, which seems likely, but we're just going to have to wait and see. And like I said, there's going to be caution ahead of Jerome Powell, and it was like a Costanza day, where just whatever had been up went down, and whatever was down went up. So just flattening out here. I've got to get to some of these mega cap tech stocks. This is Apple is up 28 cents today. I can't get excited about that. It's below the 21, and they're going to report. What is it, Thursday? I think Microsoft's going to report tomorrow after the bell, and it was bounced the last couple of sessions, a little short covering on the way into this new data point here. So nothing to get excited about here. It's quite a bit below its 50, 2.8%. But with a good earnings report, it could rally and rally right through the 50 and make new highs. Just got to wait for the new data point. That's all. Meta Platforms is going to report this week as well. The last time it reported, it sold off, pretty sharply, and then rallied back, through its moving averages, formed a nice cup with handle and failed. The rotation out of big cap tech has taken this one below its 50, and now it's going to try to rally back up. Today it ran into its 10 EMA, but like I said, they're going to report on the 31st, which is Wednesday, and that is going to move that stock as well. Amazon reports this week, so these four are reporting this week. This is with Apple on Thursday after the close. Once again, the tech sell-off has taken this one below its 50, and it traded up to its 10. So it's pretty hard to get excited about these stocks below their 50s. Google reported last week. Not a bad report, but it sold off just because of the rotation out of tech. today. Like I said, the Costanza day, they bought this one up, probably a little profit taking. When you trade from, 191 down to 164, you take that profit. And that's what the shorts are doing here as we go into this earnings report and Powell's press conference. And we have non-farm payrolls on Friday morning as well. Tesla had a stinker of a report, but it didn't go down much. And there were no downgrades of Tesla following its earnings report. And so if it can't push it down any further, got an upgrade today and rallied on that upgrade 5.6%. So good news for the Tesla longs that, filled this gap at 213 there. And where was this? Right here? No, it didn't fill that gap, did it? I spoke too soon. It looks like it filled that gap, but it didn't fill that gap there, did it? It was 213, 213.23, and it did not fill that gap. As low as 214.71, 216, and 215. So it didn't fill the gap, but it's rallying back through its moving averages here, and you can't push it down any further. It's going to go the other way. So I thought it was kind of strange. After that stinker of a report, there were no downgrades. And so somebody likes this stock, somebody's buying it. And it's one of the stronger ones of the mega cap tech stocks because it's, this one and Apple, they believe are the only two above their 50. NVDA, they don't report till the end of August. This one's below its 50. It's just forming a base, biding its time. It's going to be a while, probably do something like it did, back here or back here, during this base building period, but it's got, 4 more weeks to do that. So that's plenty of time to form a base. I want to take a look at some of these other, these semiconductor stocks have really been out of favor. AMD reports tomorrow. Boy, that looks terrible. Qualcomm, the stock really had a nice run from what, 156 to 230, and now the semiconductors are out of favor. They're selling them, and I'm going to get to some of these a little later on. Broadcom below the 50, so yeah, semiconductors look a little rough. If you go to the SMH, yeah, this one sliced its 50 and just looks like it's either going to form a base or just take a rest here for a little bit. All right, that's it. I'm going to go to what's working, right? PNTG, these rest homes. I said there was a Costanza today, but it wasn't in this group. This is a Pennant group, and it was up 5.2%. This is the assisted living, the long-term care group. This is one of the top groups, rated 2 out of 197. And Pennant Group just strong, one-way stock right now, 8.5% above its 10 EMA. I bet it's been a long time since that stock was at those types of levels. ENSG, Ensign Group, is another one, up 2.2%, and this broke out of a base and just wants to run higher. So that one looks good as well. What else do I have in this group? BTSG. This is one that I was going to put on my ready list, but man, it came off the bottom so fast. I had like 60 stocks that I was going to put on today. There was a lot of stocks set up, but I kind of settled for about 15. And I don't know. This one, it intrigues me, but it just came right up off the bottom from $10 up to, I don't know, what is it now, $12.48. That's a pretty quick move for a stock like that. Let's see. This is outpatient care. It's just IPO'd recently. Yeah, and the earnings are not up to snuff. So anyway, just wanted to show that one. What, SNDA is one of the leaders in this long-term care group. This is a double bottom base. Looks like it's ready to pop, and it's been up a lot this year. From what is this, $8 back in January? Yeah, $8.76, $9 up to 30. Yes, we'll take that all year long. So that's a nice 3-bagger. SNDA, and then PACS is PACS and medical long-term care. I think the boomers are their kids are putting them in these assisted living homes, and I guess they're doing well. I mean, they've got the sales and earnings growth. So that's what you look for, and that's the fuel, the rocket fuel for stocks, you know, is earnings. You got to have the earnings and sales growth. And you could see this earnings line heading due north. That's what you want to see. In this IPO, this one just recently IPO'd, PAX Group. What date did it IPO? Yeah, April 11th. So yeah, it's just been on the market for, you know, a little more than 3 months. Anyway, that's it for that group. Another group is the hospital group. I shouldn't laugh. I mean, the Tenet Healthcare broke out on earnings, been up 4 days in a row. Well, actually more than that. Since earnings, it's been up 4 days, but it was up prior to that. So Tenet Healthcare with the breakout of nearly 5% on the 24th and just ripping higher. That one looks fantastic. HCA, this is a HCA healthcare stock, and this one trending higher as well, looking good. These are, you know, some strong stocks. SEM is another one, medical hospital group, broke out of the space. I gotta look at the weekly on this one. Yeah, this is a big base breakout, consolidation, another breakout, earnings line trending higher, which is what I want to see. I like to see that with my stocks. And then these guys just ARDT, Ardent Health Partners, they just IPO'd, so just kind of forming a base. Here's another one that I was going to put on my list, but you know, just not enough. I guess you could say not enough trading time, not enough to track, you know. And there you can see this is kind of a nice little base here on the 30-minute chart for Ardent Health. Anyway, I'm going to move on to the defense names. Got a lot of defensive names that are looking good. This is ERJ, this double bottom base here, pulling back in light volume to its moving averages. That looks really good. The problem is earnings on the 8th. HWM, another defensive stock. This is a top 25 group, 24. Consolidating within its base here. It broke above its downtrend line, but the problem is that they report earnings tomorrow. So there's your downtrend line, broke above it, pulled back 1 day, and now trading higher. And they report tomorrow, the 30th. So be careful. You have to know your earnings date this time of year, or you might get an unwanted surprise. This is Curtiss-Wright, a kind of a thinly traded name. It's 10 billion market cap though, and this one I like a lot. It's just trading sideways, trading tight within its base here. You can see this like pinching in, just like flagging type of action off the lows. Very nice action here, trading real tight. I think, yeah, I put this one on our ready list, and they don't report till next week, so you know, beware. MOGA, Moog. This one broke out of a base, pulled back to its moving average, and now trading higher. That's textbook action right there. See, down 1.5% today. It was working, and then today the Costanza trade got it. LMT. This is a Lockheed Martin, and this guy says the heck with Costanza. We're going higher today, nearly $3, and this one has a lot of power with this move. Lockheed Martin, another defense player that I like is GE. You know, just kind of going sideways within the base here. Hasn't really broke out yet. It tried to break out following earnings and came right back. I know one of my trader friends says, you know, we're seeing a lot of failed breakouts. That's not a fail. This is just a, you know, breakout attempt, and there's a pullback. A fail would be this, you know, if it traded below this low here of 153, and, you know, did something like that. You know, below its moving averages. But this is not a fail. This is still consolidating within a base. It's near a buy point. It's just there's a lot of caution in the air here with Powell. That, you know, they don't know what he's going to say on Wednesday. So you just be cautious, you know. That's the thing to do. HEI, this is another aerospace company that's just doing really well. Made a new high today. So that one looks good. DCO, another aerospace defense, made another high today, then pulled back. And it looks like it pulled back sharply, closing near the lows of the day, 17% of the daily range. Yeah. So new high and then pull back. I mean, it's still way above its 10 EMA there, 2.3% above its 10 EMA. So very strong stocks. A lot of these aerospace defense I like. Some of them are too extended, but if you can get something like a GE or a CW still in a base, you know, I think they're worthy of owning. UTHR, This one has been on a roll and it pulled back to its 10 today. Just wanted to acknowledge that. Once again, a stock that's working. They just took profits. The Costanza trade works again. TGTX, this one's still setting up in a base. This one's not going to move until they report earnings, and who knows when that will be. They haven't scheduled it. Market Surge has it August 7th, but nobody knows. Last time they reported on the 1st, and he could, you know, on Wednesday night, he could say, we're reporting tomorrow morning. He's done this before, more than once, and then, report on the 1st, on the 31st after the bell, say, I'm gonna report tomorrow morning, reports the 1st, and just blow the shorts out of the water. This one, though, is trying to break out of a stage 1 base here. It looks pretty darn good. Look at that pullback. That's a nice handle forming here on TGTX, and the earnings line heading due north due to the triple-digit sales growth and 74-75% earnings growth. So these guys are going to be profitable this year. So I expect big things from TGTX. And then CORT, this one made another high today. I'm not going to go through a bunch of drug stocks here. This one's just close to a base. Another one that I was going to put on my ready list this week, and I kind of backed off. I just had too many names, and I'd already had TGTX. I don't want to have a bunch of them all in the same group, because then if the money rotates out of there, then you look like a sucker. And so you want to in this market, you want a kind of a wider variety of stocks to choose from. But this one still is close to that pivot point of 35.22. If you wanted to take a swing at CORT, and I might put that one on. MMYT, and going to the booking, leisure travel booking groups. All indications are the economy slowing, the consumer's backing off. So some of these are not going to do as well as they has been, but this is an India-based travel company, not based in the US. So this one's hanging in there kind of nice. I like the pullback to the 50, then the rally up, then it's like, oh no, you don't, comes back to the 21 and finds support. So as long as they're finding support at the moving averages, and the moving averages are trending higher, you're making money. You want to buy them as close to the moving averages as you can. And when they kind of pull away, then it might be time to, pull the ripcord. Anyway, booking is one that was acting fairly well today, but it's, sold off below its 50 and is trying to bounce back. I don't like stocks below their 50. That usually is resistance, like we saw with the Nasdaq. And the last one in this group, not really excited about this group. Expedia, kind of setting up in a stage 1 base here. It's got some work to do though, certainly. But I don't know about the leisure travel booking group. It's really slipped here. It's 141 now. So I guess summer's winding down and maybe people won't travel as much in the fall. Who knows? Anyway, I got to go to the software names. ServiceNow had a big move following earnings, and now it's pulling back, which, that's expected. What you don't want it to do is fall below the low of this day, 783.04. And, today it closed near the lows of its session, 2% of its daily range, which is something that you don't want to see. But we're just going to have to watch this one the next couple of sessions. The 10 is really ripping higher, and maybe it'll come down to the 10 and find support here. ServiceNow looks pretty good, though. Strong earnings report, that's 32% earnings and 22% sales. You'll take that out of a company of this size, 163 billion market cap. So what else is in this group? ZETA, this one looks pretty good as well. Made a new high today, broke out of this base and really ramped hard. Pulled back to the 10, found support, and it did make a new high today, 2164, I believe. It matched its old high, 2164. Not a real fast mover, but strong stock. KD, I like the way this one is setting up. Pulled back to its 50 last week. I wouldn't call that a bounce. It's just kind of pushing, pushing away. It's crawling away, but it's got earnings on Wednesday, so don't get too crazy with that ahead of earnings. And the last one I want to show in software is CrowdStrike. I know some people still want to buy this thing. It's going to go higher, but it's below the 200. And some more bad news can certainly come out with this one. It's got some brand damage. with that update. So, yeah, I just would not touch this thing. And this is not relative strength, folks. And people are saying, oh, it's showing relative strength in a week tape. No, up 1% after you've been slammed like, what is this, $140 or something? Geez, no, stay away, avoid at all costs, CrowdStrike. All right. I'm going to move on to the home builders because this is a group that's going to benefit from the lower rates. If Powell is, what sanguine and he's, dovish, and these stocks are going to rip. So you might want to get a small position in one of these. Pulte's already a little bit extended here. Lennar's a little closer. It's starting to push away from its base too. So these ones are just really strong. KBH, really strong stock, made a new high today. GRBK, the home builders are really ramping. As I say that, this is GRBK down 2%, but it's had a heck of a move. And then the one I like, I don't know, the one I like, it's the largest of them, the most liquid, and that is um, DR Horton. It's had this double bottom base, ramped higher 2 weeks ago, 13% last week, up 1.7, and is up a percent today. So, we're not gonna, yeah, we'll take that all the time. All right, I'm gonna go to the insurance stocks because they've been showing a lot of strength, so they're probably down today. This is Skyward Specialty. They report next week. Just pulled back to its 21, consolidating for a long time here, but finding support at the 21. So it needs to bounce here. 0.5% is not a bounce. We were greedy. We want something a little more than that. This is EverQuote, and this one reports next week as well. You can see this, clearly defined cut pattern. Needs a little bit of a handle here, a pullback maybe to the 21, get it below the 25, hopefully. But that one looks good as well. MCY is another one. I like the setup in this one. I think I put all three of these on our ready list, and I just got through saying I didn't want to put too many in one group, but these three look pretty darn good to me. And you can see the earnings line heading straight north on Mercury General. Thinly traded name, small float. So, it can move. You can see this one's really moved, 37 to 59 in a short period of time here. We'll take that. So I'm not saying it's going to do it again, but it might. They report tomorrow morning, I believe. All right. Let me see. Tomorrow morning is going to be pretty interesting. We got some names here. Bro, my favorite ticker symbol, made a new high, then pulled back today. But you can see the trend in this one, the breakout, and it's just waiting for its moving averages to catch up. So I like that one in AJG. I think this one was downgraded today on valuation or something, or maybe it was upgraded. I don't know. But the stock was down 1.5%, but it's had a big move, bounced off that 21, so it looks good. They don't, yeah, they just reported earnings, I believe, last week, so that was that move. And then the banks, which had been so strong, they had to do the Costanza trade today and pull back a little bit, but they just gotten, way ahead of themselves. Once again, a couple days of pullback would be great, and if Powell is dovish, these ones are gonna move once again, so don't give up on them just because they come back in a couple of days. Stocks aren't going to go up every day. There's your cup with handle breakout textbook stuff here from Western Alliance Bank Corp, HBAN. They were downgraded Friday and still hung in there, had a decent day, and today down 11 cents. Can't get excited about that. Just allowing the moving averages to catch up. FHN, I believe I have this one on this week, and you pull back into the buy zone here, close to that 10 EMA, 1.3% above the 10. So maybe it'll pull back to the 10, find support and bounce. And then COLB, this one had a big move on Friday. Yeah, like 11.5%. Gave 3 back today. So up 11, down 3, we'll take that. Still looks pretty good. Nice clean breakout there for Columbia Banking Systems. Like I said, this is all going to rely on Powell, and if he's talking about cutting interest rates and giving timelines, these stocks are going to do well. All right, that's it for me. Thank you for watching. Except for in honor of the great Steve Jobs, I have one more thing. We have earnings tonight from Sprouts Farmers Market, and the street really liked it. I believe it was a beat and raise, and that's what you got to do in this market. You got to beat and raise, and that's what they did. They beat by quite a bit and they raised quite a bit too, but up 15% after hours. We'll see if that holds tomorrow. That'd be really nice for the longs there. So Sprouts Farmers Market doing well. FFIV. This one was up 13%. So we got two stocks rallying after hours. That looks pretty good. And now for the bad news. I hope you're not long this one. SYM Symbotic, this robotic systems, not growing as expected, I guess. Down nearly 18% after hours. I think they came up short, and you can't do that in this market. RMBS, Rambus, I think these guys are, they got a habit of coming up short. I don't know what's wrong with their management team, but they continue to, miss their numbers, just so they should just guide down or, lower everything and just lower everybody's expectations. But man, every quarter, this is a 10% move tomorrow. So the longs are really going to be suffering in Rambus. And the other one is LSCC. They just split their stock and down 11% after hours. I didn't look at the report, but that's not good. Maybe, I don't know. I'll just have more in the morning. I can't speculate here. I didn't read enough of what was going on there. And the last one is Sanmina, my friend Yuri Soda. Down 6%. Yuri, I'm sure he'll be happy to stay above 70 though. That's it's a breakout, and then it looks like it's going to pull back to maybe it's 21 tomorrow, which is 70.93 today. Maybe we'll see if it comes down and balances there. I didn't read the report to see what they did, but anyway, I'll have more in the morning. Thank you for watching, and at mcstockcharts.com we never give up, ever.